I think strategic alliances is so important for the growth of SMEs that the earliest you try, the best. Make your mistakes in a small alliance, make your mistakes in a small contract, learn from it and prepare and develop your lessons for the future that way. But no one business is the same. Is it right for you? I find it hard to think that in one way or another, you will not benefit from alliances, at least at some point in the growth of your business. We were growing our health consultancy and had achieved good pace growth over the years. And we were turning over about 8 million and decided that that pace of growth was important to continue. It's very easy to grow at 20–30% when you are 1 million, but when you are 8 million, to grow at that pace is much more complicated. Most of our work was won through very competitive tenders, and our competitors were a mix of SMEs and very large companies. As an SME, we tended to focus on the smaller tenders, thinking that we just didn't have the resources to compete with the large firms. At one of our board meetings, we decided that we had to go for the larger tenders. And we thought how, and of the various options we thought through, the only one that seemed reasonable was to gang up with a few other organizations. Perhaps some of them struggling like us to go for the bigger contracts and joining forces to win together. And we spent probably a good 6 months thinking through and planning our first strategic alliance. We chose which contract it would be that we would focus on. And it was a British government contract of 40 million over 5 years. And chose who the ideal partners would be. And then contacted each one of them and made our case. We were so lucky, they came with us, we tendered for that job and we won it. And that was really our first experience in a strategic alliance. We started by reviewing all the opportunities that were on our pipeline and thinking through, out of those, the large contracts, out of those, which ones did we as an organization had the biggest chance, what was right up our street, and what were the missing components. And in the case of the tender we chose, one missing component was a regional partner. Another missing component was a technical complementarity to what we did. And the third one was we had a concern that the growth that our business would go through if we won that contract would be so much that we may struggle to find enough talent. So we also thought through that a good partner would be someone quite similar to us, another SME that was not a threat to us, but had additional resources to add. We were very methodical in thinking through where we would score against the criteria we knew would be on the tender and where we wouldn't, and which ones were the ideal partners to help us score. So that was the process we went through. We chose the tender, we chose the partners. Experimenting with a strategic alliance was an enormous thing for us. And it made a huge difference for the business. It was almost as if after we've tried, we got addicted to it. We saw the real benefits of it. We won our first large contract, but that relationship with those few partners was the foundation to win another few large contracts. Yes. We continue to build a great reputation in the market, and for an SME to be heading a 40 million British government contract. It did a lot for our reputation in the market. So because all the revenue passed through our books, it really made that curve of growth look really beautiful. And it was very easy then for us to achieve our 20 million target of revenues, take our business to the market and sell it for a great price. So it made a huge difference. On the critical factors for our success, I would say was to build a very transparent, very open, trusting relationship with all partners from the start. And that was easy for me. It's my style anyway. And it was easy to inspire that in my colleagues and in the wider partnership. We obviously chose people that had similar values to us, so it was very easy. And we agreed from the start, if there was a problem, we would talk. The second thing that was critical for our success was a commercial agreement that was honest to everyone. It was again transparent, and we managed to put in place agreements that incentivized the right behavior within our people. And I think we had a sponsor, a senior sponsor in each one of the partners, and the four of us would be very committed to the partnership and would inspire the partnership to be that way. So I think those were very critical factors for success. I think one thing we learned, well, we learned a lot, obviously. We also made mistakes. But I think the spirit of the partnership was right, and we managed to fix those mistakes. One thing I learned, and I would improve, I have improved and would continue to improve, is the speed to react when something is going wrong. Because you get signs when something, when the alliance is getting misaligned, you get signs. Act quickly, act on the phone, get on the train, get on the plane. Don't send an email. Don't just believe what you're hearing internally. Check it out, talk. So that's one thing I've learned, and I always do now and inspire others to do. The other thing is teams evolve over time in all partners, in my team, in other teams. And it's easy to forget that new people haven't been properly inducted, haven't been properly explained the importance of the partnership. So this is one thing I think over time is very important to keep in mind. And we made some mistakes that way, even in my own team, to assume that someone comes in and they will have the same spirit. We need to inspire that. So that's something else that I think improvement over time was needed.